Welcome to this full guide. This is how I found a good girl and became good enough to get one. So, the main purpose of this full guide is to teach you everything you need to know and everything that I've learned about attraction, about how to become good enough to get a good girl, and what exactly a good girl is. So, what will you get from the full guide? Number one, to know what a good girl is and what a good girl is not. Because a lot of people don't really know the difference between the good girls and the bad girls. They just think, oh, just one's attractive, one's not, right? It goes way further into that. Number two, how to become attractive enough to get the good girls. Because good girls are way harder to get attracted to you. So, how to become more attractive to get the good girls. Number three, how to feel confident around girls in general or around anyone. And before we keep on going for the rest of the guide, you saw the time. It's a pretty long full guide because it goes in depth. So if you don't want to learn everything, then click off the video. But to those who want to learn everything, keep on watching. Of course, you can take breaks or take notes or whatever. But without further ado, let's go. So girls aren't as good as you think they are. Why? You might find many of them attractive, but aren't good for you or your personal growth and only bring you down. What I mean by this is that a lot of the basic normal girls nowadays, they're just doing whatever, being normal, obsessed with TikTok and Instagram, right? But you're a person you're a guy, a young guy who wants to improve himself, who wants to become better, who doesn't just want to be a normal guy in a relationship who's disrespected and unloved. And you want a girl to support you. You want a good girl by your side, a good, feminine, cute girl by your side. But if you have all these random bad girls, sure, they might be attractive, super attractive, but they're just on social media. They're going to slow you down and even take you off the right path. So, what exactly is a good girl? So, here are the traits of a high quality girl, in my opinion. Obviously, preface, no drugs, no underage sex, no alcohol. These are just basic things that I feel like most people, most guys need to know. Because the reason why we want a high quality girl instead of a low quality girl is because we respect ourselves enough to not be with a random bitch. We respect ourselves enough to save ourselves for the high quality girl for our 10 out of 10, not for just some random two who already had sex by 12 years old, who's smoking weed or smoking or vaping or something and drinking. Why would we want one of those like fat little bitches? So, first of all, obviously, no drugs, no underage sex, no alcohol. Number two, support you in your goals. Now, the reason why that one is so important is because when you have a girl by your side, or when you have anyone by your side, that gives you a reason to stick to it, to stick to the goal. Because if you didn't have anyone who supports you, then you would just be like, oh, I'm feeling down. I don't want to do it anymore. So I could just quit. But when you have someone who supports you, when you have that girl who supports you, that you, anytime you're faced with the decision to quit or not, you're always thinking about her. I can't quit. Why can't I quit? Because I have her. She's supporting me. And also, during those times where you feel like quitting, she's there by your side. Anytime you want to do something new, a new endeavor, she's right there with you, supporting you every single step of the way. She's always like, I'll support you forever. I'll be your number one supporter. Anytime you feel like quitting or anytime you do something great and you achieve a goal and you achieve accomplishment, I'll be right there for you. And because I'm so proud of you and I'm going to support you always. Because when you do have that good girl, obviously, you're going to make more progress simply because she supports you. And she supports you and your goal. She's not like these normal, everyday girls who are just like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, look at you. You're looking gay. Oh, you can't go to the gym because, or you can, but you're going to look so fucking weird. Like, why? You know, you should just stay home with me. Just eat ice cream all day. She's deteriorating you. She's making you worse, and she's driving you away from the goal, except and not towards the goal. Hold on, let me fix my microphone here. Okay. Number two, she genuinely loves you. She's not like all these normal freaking girls who barely love you. I mean, she, the good girls genuinely love you and only you with all of her being. Most normal girls who are just obsessed with TikTok and Instagram or whatever, sure, they might like you. Sure, they might love you. But do they genuinely love you? First of all, for who you really are. And two, with all of her being. Because she has Instagram, she has TikTok, she can just keep on looking up other guys who looks better than you. She thinks, oh, I wish I was with him, but I'm stuck with this guy. Flabby chest or flabby stomach, whatever. So you want a girl who genuinely loves you simply because it's genuine, simply because she loves you for who you are. Who wouldn't want a girl who loves them for who they really are? For who they are and who loves them with all of their being. Who wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who loves them and is so happy to be with them, and she's so pretty and she's beautiful, not just on the outside but on the inside as well. Number four, she's kind to others and herself. She's not condescending, rude, or disgusting to others. So, all those freaking girls who are just like so weird. So weird. They're like they're disgusting. They have like a disgusting personality to them, and they're just making all these weird noises like freaking they're sticking their tongues out like like what the fuck is that, bro? Seriously, you probably know some of those girls in your real life in your class who are just making the weird faces, freaking side eye with their fucking chubby cheeks, and they're making all these weird, disgusting, annoying noises all the time, and she's just rude to you, to others, and to herself. Why would you want one of those girls? Why would you want someone like that, who's just rude and condescending and disgusting? I sure wouldn't. You should have the respect for yourself enough. You should have enough respect for yourself to not want that. You should have enough respect for yourself to not condone that. Why would you want a girl who's just disrespecting you all the time and is so rude to others? You want a good, kind girl? Going for that mediocre, rude girl won't do you any good. So the reason why you want one of those good girls and she's kind is because why would you want to be in a relationship with a person who's not kind and loving, who's just disgusting to others, and she just makes fun of them, she annoys them, she bullies them? Why would you want to be in a relationship where she acts like that, and she's inevitably going to tell you off, she's inevitably going to act like that with you, make you feel unloved, make jokes about you that are actually like fucking disgusting, and they hurt you? Why would you be okay with that? You should have enough respect for yourself to not be okay with that. Number five, I believe, not involved in so much drama or negativity. So the reason why you can't let her be so, the reason why you want a good girl who's not involved in so much drama, negativity, is simply because when she's involved in all that drama, she inevitably she gets worse and worse and worse due to the negativity. Her mental health gets worse, so she starts to view herself less. She starts to view herself less, and also she just becomes a negative person. Like going back to this point, like the freaking disgusting, like one of those freaking girls who like freaking barks or something. When she's involved in so much negativity and gossip, that ruins her mind, that makes her mind tampered with, because now it's full with all that negativity, all the negative thoughts. Now she can't even be happy. Now she can't be loved. Now she can't be loving, because she's always in that negative frame of mind. She can only see the worst in people. She can't even see the good in people. So if she can't see the good and bad, How do you expect her to treat you well? How do you expect her to treat your parents, your family well? How do you even expect for her to treat herself well? When a girl lacks that self-respect, it's like when a man lacks that self-respect. The self-respect enough to stay on their clean diet, to exercise, to meditate, to work on their mental health, to not overstimulate themselves with Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all of that. She knows her value. And what by that, I mean she's not exposing it away on social media. There's probably girls in your class who like post some like provocative, inappropriate shit on TikTok. Like they're doing some little dance, like freaking that or whatever. Like, and she's shaking her ass in front of the camera, and she's doing like one of these things. You know what I'm talking about. She exposed her value away, and the reason why that is so bad is because when she's exposing all of her value away, she's literally telling the world, "Oh, look at me. Look, I'm over here shaking my tits on camera and ass on camera because it's a cool little quote unquote dance." Why would you want one of those girls who's just exposing all of her value away when she is yours? She's low value if she does that. She doesn't value herself because all she wants is that constant validation from other guys. All the constant validation from all those freaking bitches who are just like, oh my god, slay queen, slay. And all those guys who are just liking all the Instagram photos, TikToks, liking all those TikToks. They know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. They're not just liking him because, oh, it's one of my friends. No, 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 no. They're doing something much worse, and you know it. She's exposing all of that value, all that precious beauty to just some random TikTok. She's exposing everything away, and that's just such a fucking disgusting thing. Because she knows she's valuable. She knows that she's a woman and she's valuable. So she goes exposing it all the way on social media, posting freaking bikini hauls, or uh, deliberately making a dress look more sexy on her, pulling up her shorts so that her legs look more pumped and she looks sexy. One of those, like those girls who post all of her value away, she's basically saying to all the other guys, "Oh, look at me, I'm over here. You can come and fuck me." Why would you want that? Why? She values herself, and by that I mean she does the good habits. Like I was saying before, a girl who doesn't value herself is like a guy who doesn't value himself. When she values herself, she is in the best shape, in the best mental clarity, in the best mental state of her entire life. She values who she is. She doesn't care, or she cares about what she looks like. She cares about how she feels on a daily basis. And she wants her to be healthy, and she wants her to be good enough to get a good man. So she values herself. So she goes to the gym. She eats right. She sleeps good. She's on a proper sleep schedule. She values herself enough to not scroll on social media all day, every day. She values herself to not just be obsessed with the negativity and to actually go outside every once in a while and be happy. Not be overstimulated by the instant gratification that scrolling gives you. She values herself. She values herself. That's so rare. Because a lot of girls nowadays, what do? They just do all those instant gratification activities, which they know make them worse. They keep on eating that junk food, those sugary treats, which they know are making them even fatter. But they still do it because they don't care. They don't value themselves enough. They don't have that self-respect, that value of themselves. Because they see themselves down here. They see themselves down here on this little level. They're not seeing themselves up here where they are better than that. They don't see themselves at the level where they can value themselves. So they keep on doing the bad habits. When you find a girl who values herself by doing the good habits, that's better. She's smart, intelligent, and happy. So those literally freaking brain dead girls, bro. Some girls are literally brain dead. They don't freaking know anything. They can't read a book because it's not stimulating enough. So by not reading, they're not working their brain. They're just rotting their brain by scrolling all day, every single second of the day. And she's making herself worse by that. She's making herself dumber. Because when she does try to learn, she can't learn because she's always thinking about all the TikToks and everything, and her mind's fried. So the dopamine receptors aren't, she can't learn, or she can't focus, and she can't do anything. She's literally freaking dumb. She doesn't know basic maths. She doesn't know basic English. She can't even write. She can't type perfectly, or she can't type well because she doesn't know good spelling or good grammar. I mean, sure, I make fun of my girlfriend because sometimes she can be a little bit oblivious, but at least she's not freaking retarded. She's not actually stupid like most girls are. They can't read. They can't. I mean, they can read obviously. They can write obviously, but not to the level where if they didn't do all those bad habits. Because if they just did all those bad habits, then what are they? They're just freaking stupid because they're not learning. They're not becoming better. And the reason why you want a smart, intelligent girl is so she's not a freaking brain dead zombie, bro. I don't know why I have to explain this to you. Why wouldn't you want a smart, intelligent girl? Why would you want a brain dead girl? Sure, but because I can lead her through things. I can be the masculine guy in the relationship. Yeah, sure. You should be the masculine guy in the relationship, leading her, teaching her about things, right? Of course you should. But if she's literally brain dead to the point where it's like she doesn't know how to do freaking dishes, or she doesn't know how to do laundry, or she doesn't know basic math, or she can't even spell right. Okay, that's too far, buddy. It's way too far. Last point. She's honest and understanding during effective communication. So, give me a second. Fucking thirsty, bro. Recording this make my throat freaking dry. Okay. She's honest and understanding during effective communication. So, effective communication is when you try to express your point of view and your values in a way where others can understand it, but you don't get super like ramped up and super mad or sad or angry or whatever. And you control yourselves, but you're able to effectively communicate how you feel. Most girls, most people nowadays, they don't respond well to effective communication. Why? Because they're always they're not in the present moment, number one. Number two, the responses are all effed up because of social media, because they don't want to be able to comprehend everything. Or hold on, that didn't even make any sense. So okay, let me get to the point. The reason, the reason why you want an honest and understanding girl during effective communication is so that when you're able, you can be you, so you can talk to her about things, and she's not going to get super mad, and she's not going to hit you and slap you and get angry with you when you're just trying to express how you feel about a certain topic or about a certain thing. She's kind and she's gentle and she's genuine and she understands your point of view and she's honest about how she feels as well. Because during that effective communication, it's so difficult to express how you feel, and it's hard, it's painful to express, and you got to delve deep into why you feel this so that you can properly effectively communicate this to her. But when she's not honest and understanding, when you're just trying to show her how you feel, and she's just slapping you, she's hitting you, she's like, "Oh, I see, this is you're trying to control me and this and that and this. Why are you trying to control me? Don't tell me what to do." Like when she one of those freaking girls, you should just leave right away. Because why would you spend your time with a girl who's not even compatible with you, and she doesn't even understand you, and all she cares about is herself? Because like, let's say your girl's talking to a guy who you can clearly tell likes her, and she keeps on hanging out with him. If you say nothing, if you say nothing and just keep it to yourself, eventually you're either gonna one blow up at her, like, why are you texting him? Like you're gonna get so mad. So if you effectively communicate how you feel from the start, like, hey, like I know this guy's your friend, but he makes me kind of anxious when he's around you because I can tell that he likes you, and whatever you're gonna say, if she responds in a calm way, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I never knew that this affected you this much. I never knew how it made you feel. Like, I can stop texting him if you would like, or I can stop talking to him, or or something like, or maybe she says like, oh, but she's a really good friend of mine. Like, you can meet him and you can understand him and like you can get to know him because I know he's not that kind of guy." When she's honest and understanding, that just makes things 20 trillion times easier. But when she's not honest and understanding, and you're just like, "Hey, baby, like I know you're friends with this guy, but he makes me anxious when he's around you, and I know that he doesn't just want to be your friend." And she's just, "Oh, why are you trying to control me? You don't tell me what to do. Like, what do you?" Like, she's a fucking B word about it, and she's not helping you in any way. She's not genuine. She's not helpful to the conversation. So why would you want to be in a relationship with a girl who literally can't read or write, who literally cannot understand your point of view without blowing up? So those are like really high quality traits of high quality girl. So what are traits of the low quality girl? Number one, if not all of them, obsessed with social media. Like they literally can't live without it. So the reason why this one is such a prevalent one nowadays is because everyone has social media. Every single person has social media nowadays. And it's so rare to find those good girls who don't have it. And the reason why being obsessed with social media is such a bad thing, especially for girls, is because it ruins them. They just see perfect, more random shit on TikTok, ruining their attention spans. First of all, make them genuinely stupid, make them not want to learn and become better and go to the gym, make it because they're just sedentary all day, sitting down doing nothing all day. She can't live without it. She's glued to her screen. She's glued to it, and she can't break the bond between the two. And she cannot just go outside and just read and just be relax and become happy. Because when you're on social media all day, you're ruining your dopamine receptors, and you're just scrolling, and you feel freaking depressed when you're doing it because you feel regretful. You know you could be doing something better with your time, but no, you're just here scrolling, and you see guys who they would like to f, but they can't, and then they see on the next thing they see a girl has a better tits and better ass than them, and then they feel like shit because oh no, I feel too skinny, or oh no, I feel fat. That just ruins their mental health, and it ruins them, because they cannot live like a normal girl who's happy, healthy. Because those girls who are just obsessed with that social media, they're not mentally okay. They are not happy because they're just depressed. Because all they see all the time is just the perfect girls on social media, and they just keep scrolling and they're ruining their mental health. I can go on and on about this. Number two, she doesn't take care of herself. So, like I was saying in the last slide, she doesn't care. She doesn't take care of herself. Like, she's just a freaking B word, and she doesn't care what she looks like. She just has frizzled up hair, long fingernails, a dirty fingernail. She's fat and she's overweight. And why would you want a girl who doesn't take care of herself? She wants you to take care of yourself, so you should be able to want to have the girl who's able to take care of herself. If she desires a guy who takes care of himself, like those fat B words who just want guys with six packs, it's not it's not bad to want a girl with a six pack. It's not bad to want a girl who's in shape. She exposes her value. Like I said before, she just exposes all of her value away. She shakes her tits on camera just so she can get more male validation. And I just explained to you why that's so bad. I explained to you why it's so bad. It's rude, condescending, disrespectful to others. Bad habits. Because the bad habits, obviously, they make us worse over time. Bad habits makes us way worse. Good habits makes us way better. So like staying up late. She just eats junk food all day. She just parties. She's just gonna get worse and worse and worse over time. She's not gonna be as happy, as healthy as she could be. She's not gonna be. She's just gonna be obsessed with going to parties and scrolling on TikTok and everything. She's just doing those bad habits, and she's just going to get worse and worse and worse over time. Her looks are going to deteriorate because when you just do those good habits, you get more attractive. Inevitably, you get more attractive because you're doing the right things. But when you do the wrong things, you're going to become worse and you're going to become less. And you're going to think like, oh, I don't look as well. I don't look as good. And then her mental state is going to take a toll because she doesn't look as good because she's doing all these bad habits. And that's just an endless cycle of negativity. She doesn't support you in your goals. So, like I said before, when you have a girl who supports you in your goals, you feel like you never give up, and she always pushes you towards the goal. She believes in you, and you keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. But when she doesn't believe in you, she's just tearing you down. And she's just like, "Oh, you can't do that. Look, you're so gay. You can't don't go to the gym. You should stay home with me." She doesn't believe in you or your goal. So why would you be in a relationship when your main goal, let's say your main goal is to get a six pack, but your girlfriend doesn't believe that you can, or the girl you have a crush on doesn't believe that you can. So you keep on trying to chase your goal, but she keeps on shooting you down. She keeps on shooting you down like, oh no, you can't, you're fat. Oh no, 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 no. You don't have the genetics, this and that, this and that. I don't believe in you. Why would you want a girl who doesn't believe you? That's a fucking low quality trait to not believe in someone. They're always involved in drama. They always seek male validation. She's like a pick me girl. Like she just drops her books on purpose, and she's like, "Oh, can you help me up, please?" Or can you help me with my books? She just seeks male validation. You probably know why that's so bad, and the reason, if not, the reason why that is so bad to for the girl to always want that male, seek that male validation, is because that shows that they don't have any respect for themselves. It's like a guy who's a simp for a girl. He always seeks a female validation. He's just texting her all day, every day. She's calling her every day because that's what he thinks gets the girls. By the way, it doesn't. But he's a pick me boy. No girls are attracted to a pick me boy. But guys with low self respect are attracted to a pick me girl. But you gotta see through it, and you gotta think, oh, she's just a bitch. She just wants, and she would be willing to do this with any other guy too. So she don't want to pick me girl. She's aggressive and disrespectful towards you. Now this is a big one. Why would you want a girl who's literally is aggressive and disrespectful to you? You gotta have the level of self-respect, and you just think, no, this is not okay. Why would I want to be a girl who's aggressive and yells at me and shouts at me and hits me and slaps me when I do something wrong? Or anytime like I make her mad or sad, or she just slashes out and she slaps me and hits me and she's disrespectful toward me. She calls me a bitch. She calls me a pussy. She calls me words and names that really do hurt. You have to have the level of self-respect where why would you want one of those? Why would you be okay with that? Literally, why would you be okay with a girl who's literally hitting you and abusing you and calling you names? Never be okay with that behavior from a girl. Never tolerate that. Because you gotta have that level of self-respect for yourself. Because if you don't have self-respect, then what do you have? You're just in a relationship where she can literally give a fuck about you and she can literally want to cheat on you any second. You gotta have that level of self-respect to go for that good girl and keep on waiting for that good girl. She has a bad mental health because when she has a bad mental health, she's not able to love you properly. She's not able to love herself properly. She's not able to treat others well. Because, like I said before, when she treats others well, then that's such a good trait. Because that shows you she's kind and generous, and she's loving. She's she can have proper conversations with people, and she's happy. But when she has a bad mental health, that just ruins her and you. Because when it ruins her, she's just gonna keep telling you all of her problems, like this happened, and oh my mental health, like oh like I have some eating disorders and everything, and oh no, like of course everyone has a bad mental health, and of course if you do find a good girl with a lot of good high quality traits, but her mental health is kind of iffy, of course you should be able, you should want to keep on improving that. You should want to help her through it. But first, of course, you got to go through it yourself. You got to fix your mental health first and then help others with their mental health. But if she has a bad mental health and you don't know how to help that, first learn how to help your own and then you can help her, because that's what I did with my girl. Literally brain dead. I already told you, why would you want a freaking literally brain dead zombie as a girlfriend? Come on now. She lies to her parents, friends, and teachers. First of all, lying is such a bad thing. Second of all, it's super unattractive when people lie. Why would you want a girl who lies to you? Literally, why would you want a girl who lies to you and is just disrespectful towards you? Have that level of self-respect, bro. Come on. So, sorry to break it to you, but like I literally broke down for like the past 30 minutes, most girls are low quality. I have some possible reasons. Like, first of all, social media culture saying that, oh, you can be your own boss bitch and you don't need a man and you can wear whatever you want. But what I think is ruining their mental health and ruining them, like ruining girls as in general, is other flattering girls on TikTok showing their value away and getting the attention from guys, causing most girls to do the exact same while at the same time lowering their mental health because they see girls on social media on TikTok who look better than them every 2 seconds. So girls post themselves on social media wanting male validation and they get it. And then other girls on social media see that and they think to themselves, wait, I don't look like her. My hair doesn't look like that. I look kind of fat compared to her. And then their mental health get worse. And then they keep on doing the exact same thing in order to get that male validation because they feel like shit. It's an endless cycle of feeling like shit, posting themselves on social media, getting that male validation, and then another girl doing the exact same cycle. So who do you choose? Do you choose to be like everyone else and get into a relationship where you're disrespected, unappreciated? She keeps on looking for other male attention from guys. She's literally branded and stupid, and she pushes you away from your goals because she's doing all those bad habits. She wants you to keep on being the version of yourself where you're not satisfactory. Like you don't want to be this version of yourself anymore, but she keeps on pushing you towards that worst version of yourself. Or do you want or are you willing to wait and build your own value until you find a good girl? She's loving, she's kind, she's your 10 out of 10, she's high quality, she's beautiful, she's smart, and she pushes you towards your goals. Anytime you start to deteriorate, anytime you start to go away towards your goal, she keeps you back on track and you keep on going because of that constant support and love. So, this section is how to be worthy of a good girl. How do you become worthy of a good girl? How do you build up? How do you become better in order to get a good girl? Simply become a better, more attractive version of yourself and build up value. So, this was me before I started self improvement and started looks maxing and started the good habits and just like my girl status, like girls -10, aka negative Riz, because I was doing everything wrong. I was being that super nice guy. I was just doing all those bad habits and everything. And because I was going for those low quality girls, but first of all, because I wasn't a high quality guy first. When you're a high quality guy, you can get pretty much any girl from ranging from 1 to 8 to sevens to nines to tens. So first you got to build up your own value before you can start attracting those good girls. So if you have like the random B word who's just like okay, I mean she has some good traits, but she has mostly bad traits. I simply would not go for that. Simply would not go for that. So because when you keep on building and building and building, the level of girls that you're able to attract is much higher because your value is going up, your status is going up. So girls -10, aka negative risk, because I was just doing everything wrong. I mean, look at me, double chin and everything, like kind of effed up mental health. Like I wasn't exactly the happiest with my physique or wasn't the happiest with who I was at the time because I was just being so freaking weird and I couldn't get any girls. So after a year and a year and a half, this is what happened. I built up my physique. I got a girl, a beautiful feminine girl who loves me with all of her heart, and I love her with all of my heart. And she's like so kind and she's so beautiful and everything. She can be a little bit, a little bit brain dead from here and there, but she's genuinely like really smart girl when she wants to be. And then there's me. So there's that to that. After like a year and a half. So what's the first step? What are the steps to building value in your teens as a guy? Number one, good habits, aka just making sure that you take care of yourself and the basic needs, and also becoming better through those good habits. Physical attractiveness, personality, self esteem, confidence, a disciplined mindset, and a good mental health. So, without further ado, let's go on to the first step. So, step one is your mental health. So, you might not realize it, but mental health is possibly one of the main reasons why you're unattractive. A bad mental health can also lead to a bad self esteem, which we're going to get more in depth about that later, but let's just focus on mental health for now. So, the reason mental health is first for so many reasons. So many reasons. So, when you get a girl, when you achieve all of your goals, you won't actually be able to enjoy those things then. You won't be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor because your mental health isn't as good as it could be. So if your mental health was total shit and you're just stressed all the time and you have depression and you have anxiety and you don't feel as happy as you could be and you're just like, oh no, like you're just so stressed about everything, then you won't be able to appreciate your beautiful girlfriend. You won't be able to appreciate the progress you made in the gym. You won't be able to appreciate the progress you've made in all of your goals because your mental health isn't, it's hindering you from that. It's hindering you from appreciating yourself and being happy. Look at the difference between those two pictures right there. There and there. The only reason why I'm so proud of myself, the only reason why I'm so happy all the time is simply because I worked on my mental health as my priority number one. Your number one step in attracting women is to fix your mental health. So instead of having them and being sad and depressed, imagine you can't even be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor because you're sad and depressed. Think about a sad, depressed millionaire. He has everything. Everyone thinks that he has everything he could ever want. I mean, he does. Like, he can buy whatever the freak he wants, right? But he's depressed and he's sad because doesn't he doesn't love him. If he had a good mental health, then he would be able to appreciate that more. He would be able to appreciate his family, his loved ones, his team, his employees, his business, the money he makes. He would be able to enjoy the process more. But no, he's just depressed, and all he can think about is, I want to fix myself. I want to fix my mental health, but I have too many stresses. So when you don't have too many stresses, think about how to fix your mental health. Imagine the millionaire who is happy with himself. You would want to be that kind of person. You would want to be that kind of millionaire, right? Who can enjoy the fruits of his labor, who can enjoy those times on the beach after a long, long, long few years of work, who can enjoy the work at hand because they love what they do. Imagine that. You wouldn't want to be a depressed millionaire who's just sad all the time working his ass off just to provide for a family who he thinks doesn't really care, but they do. Don't want to be a depressed millionaire. You'll be able to enjoy life again simply by doing nothing. You can just be happy. Of course, happiness is all relative, and of course, happiness comes and goes, right? For most of the time, even if you're not even doing anything, you're just sitting there. If you have a really good mental health, you can just be happy. You won't have all those negative thoughts spiraling in your head like, oh, I'm such an idiot, I'm a loser, I'm this, I'm that. You can just sit there, be present, and be happy with this. If you're outside, you can be happy with the sun, with this pool. You can be happy talking to your friends. You'll be kinder to people and to yourself. The reason why you'll be kinder to people and to yourself is simply because you don't have all those negative thoughts anymore. You don't have those negative, intrusive thoughts, and you're just like, oh, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. You can't do anything right. You're dumb. You're fat. You're lazy. You're unattractive. You'll be able to become nicer to yourself and also kinder to others, because when you're in that negative spiral and you're in that negative state, you won't be able to respect yourself. You won't be able to be kind to yourself. So if you're not kind to yourself, you won't be kind to others. Just simply think of it like that. If you're not kind to yourself, you're not kind to others. You'll actually be able to do the work necessary to get to where you want to be. Because when your mental health is complete shit, then you won't be able to do the work because all you can think about is just, oh, I want to chase more instant gratification because I feel like crap and I just don't want to do what's hard because it's painful and I don't want to record and I don't want to study. But when you have a better mental health, you can actually love and be able to do the work at hand, because when you're depressed, you literally think that brushing your teeth is hard. You literally think that getting up in the morning to go to school is the hardest thing in the world. So imagine trying to do homework. Imagine trying to do the good work, the business work that you have to do in order to become financially free in a few years. You won't be able to if you have a bad mental health. And you won't be able to get where you want to be. So these are some actionable steps for you to take to fix your mental health. Side note, on disclaimer, these will not be easy or exactly the most fun for a while. But would you rather be sad, depressed, and getting zero attraction from girls and zero happiness for your entire life? Or just go through some of the hardship that will last a few weeks to a few months to a few years to help your mental health? So, I won't go in depth about mental health here in this video because I made like a whole full guide, well, two of them, part one and part two, about mental health. So it goes everything in depth that I've learned about from like the past year and a half about mental health, and that allowed me to fix my mental health severely, and allowed me to literally save some of my friends' lives, like save their lives because of my advice about mental health. So go watch my mental health guide on YouTube. Well, part 2 is coming soon, but I already posted it like a few days ago as of filming. So go watch this video and go watch part 2. So here's just some jot notes. So dopamine detox, meditation, gratitude journaling, going outside, limiting overall screen time, delete social medias. Well, if you're running social media accounts, then just mute posts and stories so you won't just get bombarded with just like random things that, I got to click on this, and then you just go on a dead scroll. Workout or some sort of daily exercise every single day, and no fat and semen retention. So I'm gonna just go into one that I didn't really get into much in the mental health guide, and that's gonna be this point right here: dopamine detoxing. So what is a dopamine detox? Before we understand what a dopamine detox is, we got to understand what dopamine is. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter which makes us anticipate the reward of something. It makes us anticipate the reward of something. So imagine when you're about to go get an ice cream, like when you were back as a kid and your parents were going to take you to get ice cream. The moment of pleasure, the moment where you have the ice cream in your mouth and it's just delicious and it's melting in your mouth and it just tastes amazing. That's not the point where your dopamine or the feel good hormone is peaked. The point where it's peaked is when you anticipate the reward of something and it's just rising and you're getting closer towards that goal. So some examples of this is sex, food, and relationships. So I kind of made a mistake. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical directly. The height of dopamine isn't when you do the pleasurable activity, like when you eat the cake or when you jerk off. However, we don't know that it isn't the pleasure chemical. So we go in an oh, hold on. So a lot of people don't know that it's not exactly the pleasure chemical, because it's not. It's a neurotransmitter that makes us anticipate the reward of something. Most people don't know that it's not that. Most people just think it's a pleasure hormone, pleasure chemical. So we go and overstimulate ourselves. When we do that, when we do overstimulate ourselves, it makes us harder to do anything difficult that requires concentration, and that's why we procrastinate. Because we don't want to do the hard work, especially when we didn't feel like it. So we go ahead and just go overstimulate ourselves through scrolling, through junk food. So when we give into the dopamine, then it makes us harder to do any task with concentration. That's why we procrastinate. So right before this, I was doing my math final study guide. Math final study guide. So that wasn't very like dopamine inducing. Before that, I took a nap. But before that, I was like kind of scrolling and just spending all my time on my phone. If I just went from my phone straight to work, I wouldn't even want to do the work. I wouldn't want to do the work, first of all, and I wouldn't do it well. And then inevitably, I would give up and keep on scrolling. So I took a nap and then I worked on that. And now I'm here now. That's why I'm able to concentrate so well on this. It's because I didn't give in to so much dopamine. So the pleasure that comes from the instant gratification is what feels good right now, but isn't good for us in the long run. It's never fulfilling enough. It never lasts. So we do the instant gratification even more. But the more we partake in the activity, the more stimulus our minds need in order to feel the same high. So the TLDR is, the more we indulge in dopamine, the stronger our tolerance for dopamine becomes. So we need a stronger stimulus to feel the same pleasure. Dopamine is the molecule of more. Basically, let's say you only need like a few bites of ice cream to feel satisfied. Our mind's gonna perceive that, oh, it felt nice. So then next time we're gonna want to keep eating more because we want to keep feeling the same pleasure. But then if we do the exact same amount as last time, like if we ate a spoonful of ice cream and we a spoonful of ice cream next time, our mind is gonna want to eat more because it felt good. So eventually we're just gonna keep on giving to more instant gratification. So like the first time we played a video game or scrolled on Instagram, we only needed a few minutes before we were satisfied. But now we need multiple hours to feel the same pleasure, the same amount of pleasure, which is often never rewarding in the long run. Like Another example is when we first started jerking off and beating our meat. A lot of guys, they started beating their meat young. So like when they first found it, it's like this whole like plaza of thing. Like, whoa, this is such a cool world. Like, what the heck is this? And then we keep on doing it, and then we keep on getting into more into gratification, more and more and more and more and more, watching some weird ass shit, watching more of that weird ass shit. So then eventually, it's not even pleasurable to do it anymore. Dopamine hinders us from thinking long term. So according to Dr. Edward Banfield from Harvard University, his extensive research into success concluded that perspe- long-term perspective was the most important determinant of financial and personal success. So basically, the ability to think long term is what makes successful people successful. When we fail to think long term, we make bad decisions that make ourselves feel good now, but make our life worse later. So, like junk food, we can't think of the future because we're just giving into the instant gratification. So we do that instant gratification, we eat that junk food, and then we keep eating it. We keep eating, and then because it feels good, right? It feels good right now, but it's going to make our life worse later because we're going to have a lot of health problems, heart problems. We're going to be fat and overweight, and we're not going to feel proud of ourselves. We know that we should eat healthy. We know we should work out, but we eat the cake instead. We know we should get off social media and go better ourselves by reading or going outside, but no, we just go back and scroll and jack off instead. Social media made it nearly impossible to focus or think long term. You become dependent on the dopamine and social media to the point where it's a drug. You are literally addicted to dopamine, the release of dopamine, and social media to the point where it's a freaking drug and you know it. I read in a book one time that Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, like the guy who literally like created the Apple phone, never let his kid or didn't let his kids use iPhones or tablets. These rectangles of dopamine hinder our ability to focus and think. So, according to Chetma Palihapita, I'm butchering that all the way. Social media and iPhones wire our brains for instant feedback. So when we receive so much instant feedback, that basically means like, oh, I text a friend and then he immediately texts me back, or I post something on YouTube or Instagram and then I get so many likes and comments right away. When we receive so much constant feedback through likes, comments, or immediate replies to messages, we want the girls, but you just get on the hub instead. Like you want to go attract the women, but you can just do whatever you want. You just go on the hub instead because it's really easy and it's instant. We are conditioning ourselves to expect fast results, and that's the real issue. Because nothing worthwhile ever comes like that. Never comes super fast. Never arrives super duper fast. Nothing ever. The physique that you want, the dream physique that we all want, well, no, it's not going to take a year, 2 years. It's going to take like 10 years to build that, 20 years. It never comes quick. It never comes fast. But if we don't change it, you'll give up on the pursuit on becoming better, more attractive, because the results aren't fast enough. So simply because you simply because you expect the fast results from social media and from iPhones, when you try to make a lot of progress, but you're disappointed because you're not making as much as you would like. Eventually, you're gonna give up because I didn't make as much progress as I would like. We gotta rewire that. We gotta think to ourselves, okay, if I start going to the gym now, sure, it's gonna take a long time for me to build my dream physique, but that's why it's worth it in the long run. That's why it's worth it because it takes a long time, but at the end, when we're jacked and we keep on going to the gym every single day, then we're gonna be proud of ourselves. Then we're gonna be like, wow, yes, yes, I built my dream physique. I'm not like I worked so hard for this. That's gonna be amazing. Hint: everything worthwhile never quick. If everyone had a six pack, or if having a six pack was easy, everyone would have one, but most people don't. If it was quick and easy, everyone would be a millionaire. If it was quick and easy, everyone would be in shape. If it was quick and easy, everyone would be Chads and Stacy's. But it's not as easy as you may think. But the reason why this is so important is because then When you do have everything, then you have so many learning lessons along the way that one, you can teach to other people, and two, it allows you to become a better candidate for girls. Because why would girls just go for some any other random guy? They want a guy who's attractive, who has some wealth, who has some status and everything. That's what girls usually want, right? I'm just saying on the basis of like the average woman, right? She wants a good, high quality guy. If you get off social media, if you stop giving into so much instant gratification and go on a dopamine detox, which is basically when you stop giving into so much instant gratification and instead give into more delayed gratification activities, then you're going to build up your value over time and over time and over time. And that's what's really going to make us better in the long run. So, in order to fix your mental health, make this a priority first. Nothing in this guide matters except for this part right now. Nothing else in this guide matters except for this part right now. So go and watch my full mental health full guide for the rest of the advice on my mental health. Again, part 1 and part 2, I'll link them in the description down below. And without further ado, let's get into the second part, which is probably my favorite: physical attractiveness. So here was me a year and a half ago on the left, and then there's me a year and a half later on the right. Of course, bro, freaking, I know I have chapped freaking lips, bro. I'm working on it, okay? So, let's move on. So here's some proof I actually became more attractive. If you freaking meatheads or whatever think, oh, that he's lying, you didn't become more attractive. Yes, I freaking did. There to there. That was taken around like a few months ago, so I like way better. I like way better now. Anyway, but that was there to there. So this was from a year to a year and a half progress. There was me, and then there's me now. Pretty good transformation, if I do say so myself. Um, there's my girl with her little smile on her face. But yeah, for all that, so all this in a year and a half, I think it's pretty good, and that's proof I actually know what I'm talking about in this area. So, how did I do this? How did I become so much more attractive? Well, it was simply because I did a 3-hour CEO morning routine with a 1 hour long cold shower and a stretch for an hour, meditate for 1,000 years, and then I wear ice bags and I do like super skincare. I know, I'm joking. I'm joking. I didn't do all of this shit. I mean, yeah, I did it, but I wasn't like going for like freaking 3 hours long. It's just like, oh, I'm doing everything I can to be optimal. So, good habits improve attractiveness. The reason why that is simply because you're not doing the bad habits. By doing the good habits, you're living like how a normal human should live. Because most normal humans are doing all the bad habits, the instant gratifications. So if we just do the opposite, you're starting to live like a normal human and you're starting to live like a better person. So, what are the good habits to improve attractiveness? Number one, working out with weights and building a better physique, eating clean, healthy food, staying active and not just staying sedentary all freaking day long like a little chump. Low sugar intake, sweets and candies and juices, because that is what makes you chubbier, and mewing, aka the Kiki Chad. So, by doing these will absolutely improve your attractiveness, but doing more good habits will benefit you more. So that was me when I was doing all those bad habits listed here, and then that's me after a year and a half of doing all these good habits. So the reason why this is a thing, the reason why doing these good habits is so important, like all of these, not just like the ones to increase attractiveness, is simply because when you optimize every single part of your life, even just by 1% every single day, you, throughout 1 year, only 1 year of doing everything right, you grow, you increase your good habits, and you become a better person, 37% better by the end of the year, I believe it said. So if you become 37% better by the end of the year, you're optimizing every single little thing. So here are just some good and bad habits. So I'm not going to go in depth into this. So good habits: lift the weights and go exercise, eat clean, meditate, journal, gratitude journal specifically, cold showers, making your bed, cleaning your room, delayed gratification, and no fat. The bad habits are fapping, junk food, no exercises, video games, scrolling social media, looking at girls online. And that was me when I was doing all these bad habits. And that was me a year and a half of doing the good habits. Compounding all those good habits over time allowed me to become more attractive. So if you think that habits they don't matter, look at those two, look at that difference. That's a result of good habits. That's a result of bad habits. So if you think that habits have absolutely nothing to do, you're literally lying to yourself, bro. And I know I used to believe that too. I used to believe that habits don't matter. Yes, they do. Look at that transformation just from doing all that for a year and a half. Only for a year that happened. Come on. So by doing what is healthy and good for us, we will become more attractive. All of those bad habits aren't good for us, and we know it. Like, we're aware that those bad habits are bad. Like scrolling on social media, we know we shouldn't be doing that, but we still do it anyway. Eating that junk food, we know we shouldn't do it, but it just tastes so good. We choose to give into the instant gratification because, like I said, dopamine hinders our ability to think long term. So go on a dopamine detox where you're literally decreasing the amount of time you're spending on the bad habits and increasing the time that you spend on the good habits. You're replacing all those bad habits with the good habits, so that allows you to think more long term. So the physique number first. It's first number. You learn a lot about yourself in the gym. You test your discipline, your consistency, willpower on a daily basis. Not only that, but you change your physique to look aesthetic. You'll get more attention and love from others. The reason why that is because of this whole concept called the halo effect. So if there was a fat bitch and there was a super attractive woman, who would you want to go talk to more, the fat bitch or the really good looking girl? Obviously, the good looking girl with the good physique. She has a perfect hourglass shape. She has like good tits and she has a good ass and everything. So you start to feel and be more confident. You start to lose face fat and you start filling out your clothes and you start to like feel amazing. You start to feel your chest and feel your bicep and tricep and you feel amazing because you're lifting heavy weights and you're eating healthy food and you start to gain muscle size and definition. And you just start to feel more confident and you start to feel proud of yourself because of the physique that you've built. And you just feel amazing overall because of that. So these are all the aesthetic muscles that I would train if I wanted to become aesthetic, which I do train, which is probably why I look pretty aesthetic for a 15-year-old, if all things are considered. So aesthetics is king. So aesthetics is all about the V taper when your shoulders and back are larger than your waist. So I found a really good example here. He's pretty lean and he has a really good, decent physique and good lighting. Of course, it's probably with a pump and everything, but see how the shoulders and the arms and the traps here are they like go here like a V. It's like a V. Hold on, V. It's like that. That's like a V right there. And then here, I have something similar going on, kind of like a V here, where my shoulders are are wider than my waist. So your upper body kind of looks like a Dorito or an upside down Dorito. You got the upside down Dorito back and upside down Dorito look. And the reason why that is so important is simply because when you have a better physique, not only do you feel better, but you attract so many more women. You know how you love the hourglass shape on a girl? Well, girls love that V taper physique on a guy where he looks strong. So I've talked to a lot of girls and like about like attractionist stuff, like what's the most attractive thing that a guy can do, or they're just talking about them about what they think about guys. And I've asked them before, what do you want for your dream guy? Mostly every single one of them has said a guy who is pretty muscular, and by pretty muscular, they probably mean aesthetic, kind of like this guy, or when they have a bigger shoulder to waist ratio and they look like chiseled, they're not fat, they're not too skinny, but they look like pretty aesthetic. So the aesthetic muscles are the upper traps, which are these here, right there and there. Those are the upper chest. The upper chest, which is this area up here, like that's the lower chest. This is the upper chest. The reason why that you want to train the upper chest more than the lower chest is because you don't want that like Andrew Tate type teardrop chest, because that just looks really weird on the physique and it just doesn't look good. The lateral delts here, and the funny thing about the lateral delt is that when you have a bigger lateral delt, that just makes your arm look better. Because if I didn't have a lateral delt here, it would make my arm look 10 times worse. So even if you have like a small arm, if you have a bigger rear delt, then it's gonna make your physique look 10 times better. The ab or hold on, lateral delts, the lats, which are are the back muscles like right there, which makes your frame go from like this to like that to upside down Dorito. So that's what helps with the like to look bigger, like to look that like more aesthetic is to build up your back. The abs. So the abs obviously a really core component for a good physique because it shows that you have muscularity and it shows that you're not like a fat piece of shit. The arms because obviously who doesn't like big arms? I know I do. It's kind of sick. And the legs, which is a bonus. I mean, that's not exactly aesthetic, but you don't want to have freaking chicken legs and skipping leg day because I know from experience how embarrassing that can be. So I have a video about this. Go watch this video about the aesthetic muscles that I've made. It's on my channel. These are the six aesthetic muscles that make you aesthetic. So I go over all the aesthetic muscles. I don't really go exactly in depth of how to train those muscles, but the next slide will. So a breakdown of how to train them. For the upper traps, I would suggest shoulder shrugs. And of course, you can go look up like form and everything. Go look up exactly what they are on like Safari or Google or like what's a shoulder shrug. Just look it up. So for the upper traps, I would suggest here, I would suggest shoulder shrugs. For the upper chest, I would suggest incline bench press, incline cable flies, or just normal bench press, which is just overall builds the upper or overall builds just the chest. But if you want to target the upper chest in particular, go for the incline bench. For the lateral delts, the OP overpowered movement for getting the rear delts are simply just lateral raises. For lats, I suggest bent over rows, pull ups, lat pull downs. For abs, these are my favorite. Of course, they're not everyone's favorite, but these are my favorite ab routines or ab exercises. Russian twists, lying leg raises, and ab crunches. For the arms, these are just like two exercises that I really love. Of course, there's so many different variations of them, and you can do like so many different types to get like the good bicep and the good tricep and everything. But for the arms, these are just the two basic ones. I would suggest a dumbbell or barbell curls and a tricep pull down or a tricep push down. And for the bonus, here are the legs. These are just like the super basic movements that I would recommend for anyone to start hitting legs. For the legs, barbell squat, front or back, leg press, leg extensions, RDLs, or hamstring curls. And of course, I forgot to put this never skip calf day. Never skip calves. You have been warned. Never skip calves. Okay? I know it's painful. Freaking sucks. I know it sucks. But you don't want to be looking like freaking me, Mr. Where are your calves at? They've been growing, but don't skip calves. So, or simply a more sustainable approach to this, find exercises that you find super fun, but also hit the same exact muscles. Like for the upper chest, you might not like incline press, so you might, but you do really love incline cable flies. So do incline cable flies. Or if you don't, if for the legs, you don't like barbell back squat. Oh, if you have a hack squat and you love hack squats, then do hack squats. Find exercises that you absolutely love and enjoy, but also hit all of these aesthetic muscles. So if you've never trained before, you'll be so confused about exactly like what the frick am I saying, and that's okay. That's totally okay. Because look at me here. Do you think I knew anything about the gym when I started this? Hell no. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what I didn't even know what a rear delt was. I didn't know what like the lats were. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what a calorie was. I didn't know what good or bad calories were. But that's okay. You'll just learn over time and you'll learn to love it. And you'll absolutely love the gym. Just search up the exercises here. Like perfect form exercises for incline bench press on YouTube. Of course, your form is going to be total crap, but that's okay. Mine was too. Mine's not perfect. Still, mine's not perfect. Nowhere near perfect, but it's better than what it was. So look up on YouTube how to lateral. For example, if you want to work on lateral delts that day, a lateral delt perfect and safe form, and then just try to follow the tutorial as best as you can. Look in the mirror. I suggest looking in the mirrors and then see if you're doing them right. So that was me the first day in the gym, and that was me like a year and a half in. Pretty good progress, and also I just learned so much through this time because I made the gym my life. So for the diet, I made like a full guide on YouTube, like what I eat to look aesthetic as a teen. It got almost 530 views. I think it's at 600 now. So go to my channel. look up and search up Melly Sui diet on YouTube, and you'll find the vid. I go in depth about what you should eat in order to, and what you should avoid. So here are just the key takeaways if you don't feel like watching that video, which I do highly recommend. Lower your sugar intake, higher protein and whole foods, because the reason why, like, these are the basic main things that every single person should do, because if you have a lower sugar intake, then you're not going to have the sugar stored in your fat cells or in your fat as much, so you're not going to be as fat. High protein, because that protein builds a lot of muscle. Protein is the main component in your body, or the main um not a compound, the main I'm having a brain fart, bro. It's the main molecule. There we go. It's the main molecule that builds protein inside of your body. So when you, or build muscle inside of your body. So like when you're working out, you rip the muscle fibers in your bicep, for example. You're ripping the muscle fibers here, and protein is what builds those muscle fibers back together, and also bigger and stronger. Whole foods, because that's just basic. Whole foods make you much better and make you look much better and make you feel much better. No processed junk food. Just no. Like no McDonald's or anything, because come on, bro. You're better than that. You don't need all the junk food or snacks or chips or whatever. Just eat a lot of good, healthy whole foods. Fruits are okay because it's natural sugars. Vegetables are okay. A lot of proteins okay. A lot of healthy complex carbs are okay. And here I just go over like facial attractiveness. This is for like the physique kind of. So that's me from there to there to there to there. I know this one's kind of weird because I'm just like looking like that. But becoming facially attractive is much harder than anything else, but it's not impossible. So look at this guy. Brother went from that to that for 2 years, and you can see he's jacked. So becoming more jacked in the body makes you more jacked in the face as well. It makes you look better because you trim down that face fat and you get that jawline out, and you start to feel much better. So congrats to this guy. Got fucking jacked. Nice freaking chain. Nice hair, better hair, better jawline, because he got jacked, and they're because I got jacked, and just because I lost like face fat. All right, so the next part is personality slash your self esteem. So to put it simply, higher self worth equals higher self esteem. So if you value yourself and respect yourself more, then you're going to feel more confident and you're going to have a higher self esteem. So, how do you build your self worth or your self value? Good habits that delay gratification, hard work, discipline to the max, and progress in some activity. So, here I am. I was with a friend, but I caught him out of the picture. And here I am again. These were both taken when I was on my trip to Italy. And here, like, I look pretty disciplined. Here, I look pretty disciplined, and I'm just proud of myself in general. So let's go into how to build self worth and value. Delayed gratification habits. That's the first one. So delaying gratification is doing the hard work now instead of later. So delayed gratification is exactly what I just said. When you do the disciplined activities that you know you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not, now instead of just procrastinating and pushing it back. So delayed gratifications aren't exactly the most fun for us right now. However, they make our life much better in the long run. And then when they make our life better, and we start to see progress, we start to feel happier and look better, then we're gonna start loving the delay. Then we're gonna start loving the delayed gratification habits. So, for an example, you don't want to go to the gym, you still go. That's discipline, and you delayed gratification. After a year, you're happier because you have a new body and new found of self esteem and self confidence. Your future self is happy. Your future self is happy even though you didn't want to go. Put it simply, what can I do to make my future self better? That's a question that you should be asking yourself every single day, hundreds of times a day. What decision is better for my future self? Is it to study to get better grades, or is it to just scroll on TikTok? Is it exercise so I can get stronger and healthier, or is it or just eat more junk food? What decision is more better for my future self? Not myself right now. Sure, I want to eat the cake, but would my future self love me for eating that cake? No, he wants me to start eating healthy. He wants me to get shredded and get better looking and attract more women. So, what can I do to make my future self happier now? So, the reason why that is so important and build self esteem is because when you know yourself right now, You have so many regrets and so many mistakes that you've made beforehand that you just feel like crap and you're not proud of yourself because you made all those mistakes and now your personality and your self-esteem is lower because you keep on making those mistakes. So if you change that and you start doing the habits that make your future self happy instead of your future self now. So if you study for that test, you're gonna get a better grade, and then your future self is gonna feel happy for your younger self because oh my god, bro, we got a good grade. I'm so proud of you because you put in the hard work for me now, so I got the good grade. Do whatever makes your future self better. Number two, hard work. So when you do the delayed gratification activities or the hard work, once you finish that, once you finish the difficult work, you'll feel super proud of yourself because you have accomplished something. The more you accomplish things that are important to you, the prouder you feel about yourself. That's just a basic fact about anything. So if you accomplish a goal and let's say you're a YouTuber and you're planning a goal to script 5 videos and you do that in like an hour, you're gonna feel so freaking proud of yourself and you're gonna feel so much better because you did something difficult and you won and you achieved the goal. So your self-esteem is gonna feel like wow, feel so good. You feel like oh my god, I feel so great, like I did it. But the thing about this one though, and a few other ones, is that the self-esteem is always temporary. So what you need to do is keep on working and working and working and working harder, harder, harder. So also when you work hard, that will make you proud of yourself simply because you prove to yourself that you can do difficult things. You'll prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. So let's say like today I had to do a practice exam. Like I printed a practice exam out and I just did the practice exam for my math final. And I didn't think I could do like that well, but I surprised myself and I did super well. And then I felt so much more prouder of myself. And I was just like, yes, now I feel nice. Now let's go. I did it. Let's go. Let's bro. That's freaking amazing. So you'll prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Discipline to the absolute freaking max. Absolute max. So discipline is doing the hard work, especially when you do not feel like it. And that key word, especially right there, is what makes successful people successful. So let's say you don't want to study, but you study anyway, and then you get the better grade. That's much better. Because when you have something that you know you should do, but you don't do it, then you show to yourself that you aren't able to do that hard work. Then you show to yourself that, oh, I'm just a little kid who I can't do anything right. So an example is not doing the homework. So you have homework that you know you should do, but you just don't do it. You get out of school and you forget about it. You get a bad grade, or you don't do it. You go to school, you forgot about it, and get a bad grade on the assignment, and get a bad grade on the test because you didn't feel like doing the homework. However, that's it. When you do that disciplined work hard, when you do that disciplined hard work anyway, if you do the homework anyways, then you tell yourself that you're disciplined and hardworking. If you do it, even if you, especially when you didn't want to, like, oh, I don't want to do it, let me do it anyway, and you do it and you finish it, then you're just like, bro, like you freaking pound your chest and you're just like, oh, bro, I'm such amazing. I feel so much better about myself. Like I can do things. I can do like amazing things. I can do difficult, hard things that I can survive, and you can get the work done. You'll get closer to achieving your goal of whatever it may be. Maybe it's getting to a certain physique, getting to a certain weight goal, getting to um blank, getting to a certain test, getting an A on the test, and you'll feel better afterward. So here's a simple equation. So the X is the task that you must do, okay? So take a screenshot of this. I genuinely think this will help you. So X plus the easy decision plus accepting it equals 0 progress. This might not make sense, so let me explain. So X is the task that you have to do. So let's equate it to homework. So you have to do homework. You don't want to do the homework. That's the easy decision. That's the easy decision is I don't want to do homework. The easy decision is to like, oh, I don't want to do homework, so let me just go scroll. The easy decision, let's say, it's to go scroll on social media, and you accept it, so you don't do it, and you proceed to go scroll on social media, so you get a worse grade on the test or worse grade on the homework assignment. What the equation that most successful people go by is X plus The easy decision plus not accepting the excuses equals a lot of progress. So you have to do the homework, but you don't want to do it, but you tell your mind, oh, no, let me do it anyway. Like you want to scroll? That's the easy decision. I want to scroll. You don't accept it. No, let me do it now. Let me do it anyway. No excuse, and you get a better grade on the test. And then you feel like much better, bro. Like now you feel amazing, and now you're just like, let's go. And then you get pumped up, and then you feel proud of yourself. So, number 4, progress in an activity. So, starting off is difficult. Sticking to it is difficult. However, once you start making progress, you'll keep on going, building more confidence along the way. Confidence, comp- competence equals confidence. Everything that you start off is going to be difficult. It's going to suck, and you don't want to do it. And it's like, oh, I'm not even good at it, so why would I even try? Starting is difficult. Sticking to it is even harder because like you keep on failing and failing and failing, and you don't want to keep on doing the things that you're bad at because then you just like then your self-esteem gets worse and worse and worse. But once you start to make progress in that activity, then you start to feel better. Then you start to feel more confident because you're gaining more knowledge. So when you make progress in something, then you'll gain more confidence in that activity. You start to see yourself as someone who's able to have perseverance. Also, you now have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, to keep on working towards that main goal and keep on making progress. Have something to work for and accomplish. And here's the tip: make the activity meaningful to you. That way, you'll be more willing to stick with it and persevere. So, if I do not care about cooking, for example, but I want to make progress in cooking, it's going to be way easier if I started liking to cook. But of course, it's going to be difficult. You don't want to cook, but then eventually, when you start making progress, you're going to love to cook. But let's just say I cannot care less about cooking. So, if I want to just like make progress, then it's going to be so much harder for me to stick to it if I genuinely do not give a flying freak about cooking. So make the activity meaningful to you. Make it so that you genuinely want to do it every single day, even if you keep on failing. So that way you'll be more willing to stick with it. So let's go on to the next part, which is personality. So personality. Come on. So personality. My bad, bro. So personality is all subjective. Girls love all different kinds of personalities. Some like funny guys, some like serious guys. However, there are certain traits, not exactly a certain personality, there are certain traits that girls find unattractive. And these are the following. So, being mentally weak, super emotional, being creepy, looking at her, stalking her socials, following her around, etc. That's just freaking creepy, bro. I used to be one of those guys. Not proud of it. Being too nice. Yes, there is such a thing of being too nice, and it's super unattractive to girls. Telling them that they're beautiful, amazing, and whatever the frick all the time. Never making fun of them, never joking around with them, never being able to be playful with them because I don't want to hurt her feelings. Come on, bro. No. And making her the priority, texting her all day, responding right away, and wanting to call all the time. That just shows her that you don't have anything going on in your life and that you make her the priority and that you don't have anything else to do other than just be a little simp and be a little girl for her. Let me tell you, most girls don't want a guy who is like that. Most girls, they might like funny guys, they might like serious guys, but most of, if not all girls, do not want a super emotional guy who is just crying all the time, is coming to her with his problems. They don't want a guy who's just creepy looking at her all the time, like super weird, stalking her, following her around. Like when she starts to move to, let's say she goes to a water fountain, he just magically appears. They don't want guys who are just being too nice and super unattractive to them, just telling that they're beautiful all the time and never being able to make fun of them, not being able to like mess around with them, making it a priority, texting her all day, and it's just so annoying to them. They don't want one of these guys. They tell you that they do, but they don't. I followed what they told me they wanted for years and years and years. In this photo, I followed what they were saying for years. I never got one of them. I did the exact opposite. I started becoming the complete opposite of all of these. I started not caring and I started doing whatever I wanted and not being too nice, and then I got my girlfriend. Oh, whoa. Of course, I still treat her with love and affection. Of course, I still treat her nice, but I'm not treating her like a little simp anymore. Or I never treat her like a simp, but I'm not treating girls like simps anymore. Like a simp anymore. So, how do you fix all of these? Become more masculine. And by that, I mean chase goals, not girls. So, there's me when I was super feminine, super weird, doing whatever they told me to do and just being a simp. Here's me a year and a half later, not fucking caring what they want me to do and doing whatever I want, chasing my own goals and not being a simp and chasing the girls. So, how do I help these emotional guys? Because I used to be one too. I used to be one of these super emotional guys. I used to be super emotional. So share my story when I was on call. So one time I was on call with a friend. By that I mean a crush. Of course, I was in the freaking friend zone. So she was holding back. Like I was asking her, like, what happened? What happened? Because she was telling me a story. I was like, what did you say? What happened then? What happened then? She was like, oh, no, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. So then after like a long time, I just got so mad. It's like freaking literally screamed like, tell me! Like I like slammed my hands on the table and everything, and she just started freaking laughing her ass off. You can tell why that was so unattractive, can't you? If you can't, then that's a problem. So I used to be that emotional. I'd be super emotional with her. I used to tell her all of my problems, like, "Oh, I can't do anything right, and I lost my other crush because I've messed up, and I'm such a bad person. And let me consult me and become my therapist, and become the man in the friendship, and help me out through things, and watch me be depressed, and listen to all these sad songs all day." So from a super emotional guy to a pretty stoic guy, in my opinion. Like I mean, sure, kind of emotional, but I'm like an emotional in a good way. I'm just like really happy all the time, and I'm just laughing with my friends. So, but here are some things that help me. Pretend to be someone you aspire to be. Go into a period where you turn a bit cold and heartless. Bring your energy down to your nuts. Anytime I would act emotionally, take a deep breath and calm down. So pretend to be someone you aspire to be. So for me, my inspiration was this guy named Hamza Ahmed, or I don't know. This was very in the beginning, Andrew Tate. So I just pretended to be who they were. Like literally, I pretended to be them. Like I would copy their mannerisms and everything. I would copy who they were. Sure, I wasn't being my authentic true self, but eventually, by copying them enough, I'll go over more in this about what I'm talking about, like copying them later. But eventually, I started to figure out my own style of being who I was, a stoic guy, but also more like being able to have fun and like laugh and everything. But at the beginning, you have to pretend to be someone who you're really not, because the person who you are right now you're not happy with, and you're just super emotional all the time. So you just got to pretend to be someone who you would want to be at your end result. You would want to be someone who is like super stoic and super calm and collected and just relax. So some inspirations can be like James Bond. Like that's someone who I really did aspire to be. I never really copied his mannerisms, but I was just like, just be like James Bond. What would James Bond do? Would he just be super emotional? Super emotional? Would he be a little bit emotionless and just calm down? So that's the first step. Go into a period where you turn a bit cold and heartless. So go into a really short period of time where you just become cold, heartless, and you don't really care about love and affection. You devalue that love and affection, and you just become cold, heartless, and you pretend and you try to go in full fully in depth, and you're just like, okay, now I'm not an emotional guy anymore. If I act emotional, I just take a deep breath and I bring the energy down to my nuts, and I just go back to being a little bit colder. And so for me, what really helped me was I still do, obviously, because I love my mom. So I go over to my mom's room and I just kiss her goodnight. But I used to do that, right? And I used to be like super emotional and super feminine because of that. Because I'm just like, oh, and just like, hi, mama, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And just like, like, cuddling with her, or just talking like freaking shit about her friend or whatever. So then for a little bit, I stopped doing that because I just got to devalue love and affection so I can stop being super emotional, and it fucking worked. I mean, now I still visit her. Now I visit her, but now I can know my limits. Now I know how to like not be super emotional all the time, right? Now I know. But back then I didn't. So I had to go into a period where I turned cold and heartless, where basically just mellow yourself out. Mellow your personality. So if you're like super laughing, like so funny, just mellow it out. Just take a deep breath, like like just chuckle a little bit, and just like, bro, that's so hilarious, man. And then that's how you just mellow your personality down. Like cut your personality like 75%, 50% in half, and just calm down. So bring the energy down to my nuts. So anytime I would do that is like if I feel like the energy rising and I'm just like laughing so hard, I would just take a super deep breath and then exhale all that and bring the energy down low to my nuts because that's where like all the testosterone and like freaking like all the coolness goes back down there. So I'll just take a super deep breath, bring that all the energy down low to my nuts. And then the last one is anytime I'll act super emotionally or just act emotionally, take a super deep breath and calm the frick down. Take a deep breath and you'll start to calm down. So, but I'm naturally an emotional guy. That's an excuse that I always said to myself, but I'm naturally an emotional guy, so I can't do it, right? Are you sure about it? Are you naturally an emotional guy, or are you emotional because everyone else is emotional? Everyone else is weak. They tell you to be one with your emotions, and you can just act upon your emotions, do whatever your emotions say, because that's going to lead you to a better life. No, it's not. If you act upon what your emotions say, you're going to have a shit life, right? We all know that. If you feel like not doing the homework and you don't do the homework, then you're going to feel shit later because you get the bad grade because you do bad on the test, and then you're just like, damn, and then you start crying because you're super emotional. Or are you emotional because girls say that they want you to be emotional? Like, oh, I just want an emotional guy. Let me tell you something. No, they don't. They just tell you that. So, and then you follow it, and then you wonder why they're going for like the complete opposite of what they say that they want. So, yes, the reason you are emotional isn't because you are. It's because the world wants you to be an emotional guy. They don't want strong, stoic guy anymore because apparently that's not cool. But it often leads to a much worse life when you're super emotional because you just do whatever your emotions tell you to do. So I want to share some personal stories from my life. So I had this crush on a girl, and she liked me back in seventh grade. We went on a school trip together, me and her. I sat next to her the entire time. I held her hand on some of the rides, and then on the next ride, we were just in line after the ride, and she was talking to me. She was like, "I don't want to be in a relationship right now. Like, I'm not mature enough for this. I don't want to do this." Right? I got emotional. No, I didn't start crying, but I started like lashing out or gossiping about everyone. And then later in the week, then everything got put to shit because then everyone else found out in the school. I told my friend, and then he told his friend, and then that friend told the entire school. And then I blamed that friend, like the second friend who told the entire school. And then like it was such a really, barely bad thing in my opinion. Like looking back, it's just kind of stupid, freaking middle school drama. Like who the fuck cares? But I blamed that second friend who told the entire school. I got super mad at her. I texted her. I was like, "No, it's because of you. It's your fault. I can't believe that. Like, why are you doing this to me?" And then she told everyone else in our friend group because we were all in one big friend group to like stop being friends with me because of like I blamed her and then all of this happened and then I got super emotional and then guess what? I lost all my friends. I lost all my friends because of that, because of my own emotional instinct. So if you really do think that being emotional is going to help, no, it's not. Being stoic, being calm and collected is always going to help you much more than being an emotional guy. This one about screaming back in seventh grade. So not really a consequence because of it. It's just a stupid thing that everyone started losing respect for me for because it was just fucking stupid. So basically, I was talking with a girl. Well, obviously, like I was kind of a simp and like I was literally kind of like one of those girls back then. So I was talking about them about the Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the show. Like I was talking about it with one girl. She was like, "Oh yeah, the movie was so good." And then of course me being like a freaking artist, like a freaking like our Avatar fanboy. I was like, "What? How dare you like the Avatar movie? Well, no, it was so bad." I started screaming my freaking head off, and then everyone was just like freaking staring at me, and I can like literally just tell you what they were saying. They were just in their head at least. I definitely would have if I could see what I did back then. They were just like, "Bro, what the fuck is this guy doing? What the hell is this weirdo doing?" And this was my first year at that school, so I don't really think I made a good impression. So, bruh. So stay cool, calm, and collected. This is a quote that I absolutely loved and I learned from Dre Drexler. Stay cool, calm, and collected. The three C's of staying attractive. Still cool, calm, collected. So when you're in that relaxed, calm, and confident state, you're in the more masculine energy. You're just more in control of your own self in the chaos. So the masculine energy is more control. You know, like the Giga Chad stone faces? That's stoicism. That's just control, being calm. The feminine energy is more like chaos. You know how girls like they freaking go from one emotion to the next in like 2 seconds? Guys, they usually take like a while to get into their next emotion. That's because most guys have a masculine energy. Most girls have a feminine energy. So when you're in that masculine energy, like the girl that you're with, it's going to be able to go into that more feminine energy. It's going to be easier to get her in the feminine energy when you're in that masculine energy. Because if you're occupying the feminine energy, you both can't be over here. She has to go over there. Or you can be over there, which is more natural to you, and then she can stay in the feminine energy, which is more natural to her. And when you guys are both in your own polarities and you're both energies, then you're going to both feel happier together. So good girls f- find this immensely attractive because that just allows them to relax into their feminine energy, which is better because they giggle, they laugh, they smile, they talk cute at a higher pitch, like just like, hey, oh my god, how that's so cute. Like she'll just be more attracted to you in general. There's my little girl, and there's me, Top G, and then there's me becoming more cool, calm, and collected in that photo. So stop being a nice guy. Put it simply, stop being a freaking nice guy. So movies have always said that, oh, just being nice and talking to the girl and stop being exactly what they tell you to be, like stop being like a jock and stop being rude and do exactly everything she says, then you'll get her. The thing is, bro, you need to realize it's a freaking movie. It's not real life. It's not real life. It's not a real scenario. It's the reason why people watch movies is to see fake scenarios that they probably would never happen. And unless it's like based off true stories or something, then that's different. But they're watching fake scenarios that would never happen. That's why people are interested in movies, because they're fake scenarios that are likely not to happen, right? That's why we watch movies, because it's not likely to happen. So we want to see what a life would be like in a world that is not likely to happen, because it's cool, because it's like a light into the unknown. So when you see that little guy in those movies, like the little nerd, just being all cutesy and everything, and just like smiling into the girl and just stalking her and looking at her all the time and just simping for her, and then when she comes to him with the problems about like, oh my god, like my boyfriend, he's so mean because he went to go with the football guys or went to go play sports or something instead of hanging out with me, and then the little nerd gets her because, oh, I'm always here for you. It's a movie, because that's not what happens in real life. That's not how it happens. So when you're that little nice guy, she sees right through the act. The people, girls see right through the act. You're not nice to her to genuinely be nice. The reason why you're nice to her is so you can get into a relationship with her, so that you can get in bed with her. You know it. You know it. The only reason why you're nice to her, the only reason why you're just like, hey, how are you today? Like, you don't give a fuck how good of a day she's having. You just want to get into a relationship with her. But oh well, no, you just have to sit there and listen to her problems, and you just gotta sit there and pretend to care, and you just gotta sit there and just try to be nice and smile all the time. And they're me, like a little nice guy over here, so you can get into a relationship with her. But the thing is, she doesn't want to date another girl. So why are you acting like one? Why are you trying to act relatable if you know she's straight? And she wouldn't, if she was lesbian, then she wouldn't even like you at all. So you wouldn't even be like, oh, whatever. I don't care. Why be a pushover and take all of her bullshit too? So why be act like a girl if you want to attract a girl? That's not how it works. You gotta act like a knight. You gotta act like a gentleman. You gotta act like a strong guy. You gotta act like that. Stop acting like that little nice guy, because the little nice guy is basically just a freaking girl, and you know it. You're trying to act more relatable to her, and that's not attractive. So, like, why text like a girl? Like, why add like all those super extra letters and like all the smiley faces and all those freaking emojis? That's how girls text. If you text like that to a girl, that's a big turnoff, because you're both in that feminine energy, and you're just being more relatable to her, and that makes her view you as a friend more, instead of viewing you as a guy who's, oh wow, he's kind of attractive. and you text her right away, and you text her all day, every day, call her all day, every day. You're not showing her, you're showing her that you have no life, and you're showing her that you're just a friend. So that's why she sees you as a friend and not as an attractive guy who she can get into a relationship with. Because one, you're probably not attractive enough. Two, because you're making her seem, because you're trying to be relatable to her. But by being relatable to her, you're literally making yourself feel and act as a friend, and she views you as a friend instead of an attractive guy because you make her seem like that. But she does see right through the act. She knows when you're just being a nice guy to get with her. But the thing is about girls is that they don't care. They're not going to get into a relationship, but they want to lead you along. They want to just keep on being your friend because you're just a friend to talk to. And she sees right through the act, but she doesn't give a fuck. She does not care. So if she wanted to date someone like this little nice guy, like a little pushover, then she would just be lesbian. Let's be real. It doesn't make you more relatable to her. It just turns all of her attraction off. So stop. So how do you stop becoming a nice guy? Stop putting her needs before your needs and stop making her the purpose. Her your purpose. So if you have work to do, don't go and call her. Don't go and text her. Do the freaking work first. Stop making the world revolve around her. Stop making her the priority. The reason why she's not attractive to you is because you make her the priority instead of your goals, instead of you. A chapter in probably the best book about understanding women ever, The Way of the Superior Man by David Data. One of the chapters is she does not want to be the main priority. The reason why he says this is because they just don't want to be the priority. They don't want to be number one in your life. They might say that, oh, I just want me to be number one. Thing is that they don't want to be number one in your life. They just don't. So if you have work to do, for me, I'm recording. If I was a nice guy, I would just go be texting my crush right now. I would say crush because I wouldn't have a girlfriend if I was still a nice guy. But no, I'm freaking recording this for you to help you and you make progress in your life and make yourself the priority. Stop putting your needs before hers. It's the definition of being a simp or a nice guy. When you put her needs before yours, put your needs first because you're more important than that random girl. You're more important than some random bitch. Put yourself first, make yourself the priority. But that's selfish and egotistical. So if it's egotistical and it's self-centered, good. It makes you a better person. Of course, don't be like, actually, I'm not even going to say anything. Put yourself as a priority first because that's what's going to attract her more than you just putting her needs before yours. Because then you feel more proud of yourself. Putting your needs before hers, or putting her needs before yours is the definition of being a simp and a nice guy. So if you have work to do the work. And then do more work, and then do more work, and then do more work. And then put yourself as a priority. Stop putting her needs before yours and stop making her the purpose. Make yourself the purpose and the priority. So go watch this podcast or go read the greatest book about this ever. No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. Go watch this podcast. It's The Sad Reality for Nice Guys, Dr. Robert Glover. It's by Modern Wisdom Podcast, and I really love this podcast, and it's so really good book. So I highly recommend it. So this is my take. So how to not be a nice guy? How to not be a nice guy, but also not like being a fucking asshole. So don't be a nice guy, but be a good gentleman and be a good man. So stop being overly nice to her just because she's a girl. Just because she's a girl, it doesn't matter. She can still be a bitch. So if she's a bitch, then treat her like a bitch. That doesn't matter. If just treat her well because she's a girl. No, if she's a fucking bitch, treat her like a fucking bitch. It's okay to make fun of her. It's okay to insult her a little. We've been told to never insult a girl because that's mean. It's gonna hurt her feelings. But then the guys who follow that advice, the guys who are just like, I'm a nice guy, sure, yeah, they don't get the girl. They don't get the hot top. They don't get the hot Stacy that most guys want because they just followed what society told them. It's okay to make fun of her a little bit. It's okay to insult her. Like with my girlfriend, like I make fun of her all the time. Like that's basically it's so funny because like that's basically what our relationship revolves around. Obviously, I'm joking, but like I make fun of her all the time, and she loves when I make fun of her too, and she knows it. And it's just a fun thing between us, and that's what makes her more attracted to me. She doesn't. She Most girls don't want a guy who are just like telling her how beautiful she is all the time. Of course, I tell her my girlfriend that she's beautiful and whatever, but Girls like a guy who's able to be playful, who's able to insult her, who's able to just like make fun of her, because that shows that he's like comfortable around her. That shows that he's just not just like a simp. That shows that he is not a nice guy, but also not a freaking nice one. But obviously, right here, obviously don't call this like a fat piece of shit, like fucking fatty or whatever. But also don't be too overly nice for no freaking reason. Like, oh my god, you're so beautiful. Oh my god, your hair's so good today. Like, so many compliments. Like, be able to make fun of her. Like, if she's like, my hair's kind of, don't make fun of me, but like, I watch this kind of YouTube channel, then like, it's okay to make fun of her. It's okay to like joke around, but like, bro, no way you watch that YouTube channel. That's so freaking weird. Like, what the hell? You watch that YouTube channel, or like, my hair's looking kind of weird today. I'm just like, yeah, it kind of is. Not gonna lie. um, yeah, don't be too nice for no reason, but also like don't be too mean. Don't be a freaking asshole, like freaking that bad. They want a good man. They want a kind man who's also able to have that balance of like being able to make fun of her, but also being able to love her. So if you're not dating her and you don't know them yet, and you don't like have a personality, and you don't like aren't trying to get into a relationship with her, and she finds you attractive, do not compliment her looks. Don't compliment her looks. If you're on a first date, then yeah, like, oh, you're looking very good today. Like, but if you meet him for the first time, don't just be like, oh, like, your hair is kind of beautiful. Like, but when you have a certain personality, you're able to do that. But on the basis of you're just like, a nice guy, like trying to recover from not being a nice guy, you probably don't have the personality yet to be able to like say, like go over to her, be like, hey, I thought you were super beautiful. Like, I would want your number because like you're kind of beautiful, and I would like to meet up with you sometime. Like, you probably don't have that personality just yet, and eventually you will. But for now, don't compliment anything about her looks. Stop being her little best friend. You know deep down the reason why you're talking to her in the first place is so that you can get into a relationship, you can kiss her, whatever. You can get with her. So why act like a little best friend? The reason why most people do this is so, oh, you can show her that you're relatable. First of all, no. That's not how it works. When you seem relatable, you're making her feel like, oh, you're just a little friend. Stop being her friend. If you want to be in a relationship with her, tell her straight up, oh, I want to be in a relationship with you. I feel like I find you very attractive. I want to be in a relationship. You have a lot of good high quality traits. So don't be relatable. Stop trying to be her friend, because that's how you end up in the friend zone. Dummy. I'm joking, bro. Number two, you're awkward around her. So you're just very awkward around her because you're trying to be her friend, but you don't want to be her friend, and you want to know, you want to get in a relationship with her. That's why you're really awkward around her. So that was me around 2 years ago with my past crush, and like obviously you can tell like I'm kind of really I'm kind of nervous, and I was just trying to be her friend, and then here, then there's me and my girlfriend. Um, Obviously you can see I'm way more relaxed around her than I was with my past crush, and I'm not trying to be relatable. I'm not trying to be like, hey, we're best friends. No, I'm just literally, we're in a relationship. We're not friends. But also, like, people say, she's my best friend. But why wouldn't you want a friendship with your best friend? The reason why you don't want to date like best friends is because what's the frick is the point? If you want to be best friends, then just be best friends. But if you want to be a couple, then be a couple. Like, I know someone who's like in a relationship with a girlfriend. I'm just like, have you kissed her yet or anything? He's like, no, 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 no. I'm like, what? Why? He's like, no, like we're just friends. But I was just like, but you're dating. He's like, yeah, but we're friends. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Personally, to me, that makes no freaking sense. Why would you be in a relationship if you're not trying to be more than friends? Why be in a relationship if you're not trying to be more than friends? Like, to me, that makes no logic. Maybe to you, maybe to some other people might make sense, but to me personally, makes no sense at all. So, how to stop being awkward around women? And this took me a long time to learn. I'm still kind of awkward around women. Not even gonna lie, but I made a lot of progress. So, how to stop being awkward around women? Stop watching thirst traps. You know what? Fapping to vids or looking at pictures of her on Instagram. Devalue her. Remove the pedestal. Have more value than her. You shouldn't be awkward. You wouldn't be awkward if you were around like a 1 out of 10, would you? Probably not. So let's go. No more prawn, thirst traps, or pics of her. So you feel desperate or needy when you're with her. The reason for that is doing these things make you feel like a loser, or dare I say, a little beta male. Because when you watch like these types of things, when you look at these things, especially this one right here, Corn. When you watch Corn, you're literally seeing like another guy pound the girl you want to be with. So you're just like a little monkey in the room, just looking at that instead of like actually pounding the girl that you want to pound, right? So it makes you feel like a little loser. And then looking at these pics of her and these little thirst traps of them, like you makes you more feel like makes you feel more like a loser because you're not with her, because you're not just like there, and you're just looking at her through a little screen, and you know that you're just like, oh, I'm just a loser, like looking at pictures of her like inappropriately. Like, wow, that's so cool. I wish I was there in real life though. Like that would be so much better, right? But no, you know you're a little loser, so you're just looking at her through his little screen, looking at the girl through a screen. So when you watch these things, you don't feel good about yourself, and you know it. If you did feel good about it, then you would tell everyone that you're fapping and watching. You know what? You'd be like, bro, like I'm watching all this and it's so fat. You tell your family, you tell your grandpa, your grandma, your mom, your dad, but you don't. Want to know why? Because deep down, you know that these things make you worse. Deep down, you know these things make you more insecure. Deep down, you know that these things have a sense of shame to them. And when you feel shame, you feel very insecure. When you feel insecure, you feel awkward. So, since you don't feel good, you come across as though you have a low self esteem and low self confidence because you don't feel good. Simply because of that. Because you know you don't feel good, so you don't feel good. You have a sense of shame, and you feel shameful, and then you have low self esteem, low self confidence. So when you stop watching this and you stop watching like these thirst traps and everything, then you start to act more like a normal human again. So if you haven't gone for a long time without like watching, you know what, and like watching these thirst traps, then you haven't felt like a normal human for a long time, and you want to feel like a normal human again. So stop watching it. I'll go into. I'm not gonna just be like, oh, did you just see this all? I'll go into more detail in a little bit. So, and stop watching sexual content or pictures of her that she sends you that are like more provocative. If it's like selfie and you're like still like, you know what, to a selfie, then don't look at those selfies, bro. Like what the fuck. So your caveman brain or your caveman mind gets super duper weird and wonky. The reason why that happens is because you're looking at someone who you know in real life, right? And you're looking at her and you know her in real life. And then you feel a sense of like admiration to her. But then when you just jack off and you just look at this sexual content that she posts on Instagram or TikTok and the pictures that she sends you, and it's just like, I mean, yeah, I know her, but it's kind of weird because I'm not with her in real life, but I know her in real life. But I'm like fapping and I'm like having a one-sided relationship with her, and but it's like super weird. Like you look at her thirst traps on Instagram or TikTok, the pictures of her being provocative, and it's kind of like she's presenting herself to have sex with you. And since you do know her in real life, then that makes it worse because then it presents the feeling. So anytime you're around her in real life, anytime you've been watching all those like things of her on TikTok or Instagram or whatever she sent you, then it's kind of like you created a one-sided relationship where like a one-sided sexual relationship where it's just like, and now anytime you see her, you can't imagine like not having, you know what, with her, and you can't imagine her like being normal, and you can't like imagine her without like the inappropriate clothes or without like the dance, because then she's posting all the provocative stuff, and it's kind of like she's presenting herself to have sex with you. So your caveman brain doesn't know the difference. Your caveman brain doesn't know the difference. So it's like the caveman brain is our old brain that we had during caveman times. It hasn't evolved that much during the tens of thousands of years of progression. Our caveman brains are still the same. That's why we have reflexes, and that's why we have goosebumps and everything. So when you're looking at all these pictures and videos of her, then that makes you seem it makes you see her in a provocative way. And then when you see her in real life, you still want that same thing, but you know it's weird because it's not real. Because your caveman brain tricked you into thinking that, oh, you're in a relationship with her, you're getting sexual with her, like she wants you to fuck him, she wants you to fuck her, and she wants you to like pound her and everything. But by doing that creates a one-sided relationship with the girl, where you created a whole relationship, sexual relationship, while she hasn't. And that's why you feel awkward, because then you see her and then you're like, it's like, oh, like I've seen her like in this, oh, super inappropriate, like crazy things, and she's like, I had sex with me before, but no, there's just like my own little fantasy. You feeling awkward seeing her because you progress in a relationship that's sexual, but she hasn't. So you see her, she's like next to you, and you're just like, you like, you've seen, so what if she's seen, or you've seen what she posted, and she's like, you like beat your meat to it, and then you you created a one-sided relationship, and then it's just like, she just sees you as a friend, but you see her in like this whole other sexual way, and you're just like, don't know how to go about that, and you're just like, like, you're just super awkward. Like, I know it makes you seem super weird and awkward because you're in that one-sided relationship because of that. So, what do you do? Stop freaking looking at social medias. Number one, unfollow all those girls on social media that you follow. Because be honest, what do? You just fap. That's all you do. You just fap to them, like the girl on Instagram, like the little fitness page that you follow, because oh, it teaches me the one ab routine that I learned that one time. But I keep following me just in case, like she posts another thing that can really help. No, the reason why you do is because she's showing her ass like super tight, and she just faps her. It's not. And two, and unfollow them. If you know them in real life, it's not being mean that you unfollowed her. Again, why? Because you put yourself first. You put yourself as a priority. You're not being a little simp anymore. You put yourself as a priority so you can have a better life, so that you're not awkward around more girls. Number three, never follow girls who post provocative things like that. For my rule of thumb is to just not follow girls on TikTok, or I don't have TikTok, on Instagram or on YouTube. Just like, don't follow girls on TikTok, on social media. So, how do you stop fapping? So, these are the really good ways to stop fapping, which I've found. Number one, progressively deload. Number two, become busy. And number three, not today. I'll see you about tomorrow. Okay, so let's go on for the first point. Progressive deload. So, there's this thing about progressive overload in the gym where you add more weight or more reps over time, so you get stronger in that lift. So, if you're doing bench press and you did 170 pounds on bench press this week, next week try to go for 172, 175. Or if you did a 150 for 3 reps, next week try to go for 150 for 4 reps. That's progressive overload. We do progressive overload in order to get stronger in that lift, in order to get stronger and bigger muscles. So for fapping, it's the complete opposite. Let's say you fap one day every single month. Next month, try to fap for only 28 days. Next month, try to go for 25 days. Try to cut back the time, cut back the amount of days where you're fapping. Eventually, after a year, after months, you're eventually down to like only like once or twice a month, and now you progressively deload, and now that once or twice a month is now normal, where you used to fap every single day. That's what you got to do. You got to progressive deload your fapping streak. So like, have an estimate. Don't just like, oh, I fapped today, so let me engrave it on my wall. I fapped today. Like, just estimate, like, how many times do you think you fap in a month, and then next month try to hit a goal that's lower than that. So like, let's think that you hit. Let's say this month, like, you fap for 22 times in this month, one day every day, and then next month try to hit for only 20 days, and then that's progressive deload. You're going from like 31 to once every day, it's like down to like once a month, twice a month, and that's honestly, that's barely anything. That's where it doesn't really care anymore. But obviously, you should probably not fap at all. But of course, if you like need a bus one because you freaking need to, you haven't done one in like 5 months, and I get it. Number two, become so busy to the point where you don't have any time to fap. So have such a busy freaking schedule, work so hard on whatever you want to do. For me, it's YouTube and school and the gym. So I keep myself really busy throughout the entire day. So I don't have any time to like go in my room and just look up all the favorites people that I used to watch and just do. I don't have time because I'm that busy. I just wake up, do some work. I do my morning routine. I go to school. I come back home. I do more homework. I go to the gym. I eat, and then I record, and then I edit, or whatever. I'm so busy throughout my entire day that I do not have time to fap. So just become so busy. I know this one's hard. I know it's super duper hard, but this is what really does help me when I do have such a busy day. Number three, psychologist Dr. Ryan Taraban. I think that's his last name. Dr. Orion Taraban from Psychax. He taught me this, or not personally, but he said in one of his videos that for a lot of like Alcoholics Anonymous or people dealing with addictions, something that you really should start saying is not today, I'll see you about tomorrow. Anytime you've had the craving for fapping, just say, no, not today. Let me see how I feel about it tomorrow, though. Let me see how I feel about it tomorrow. Let me see. Because you're basically saying to yourself, okay, I'm not going to do it today, but let me do it tomorrow. Let me see about it tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, just do the exact same thing. You have the exact same craving. Oh, let me just see about tomorrow. Next day, tomorrow. And then eventually you just don't fat for a long time. And now you do that every single time you have a craving. So you might have the craving like 10 times a day. Just say no tomorrow, no tomorrow, no tomorrow, every single day. So that was how I stopped fapping. And that was also how to stop being super awkward around girls. So next part is confidence. So there are three main ways that I've found to become way more confident in yourself. Number one, emulate confident people. Number two, make yourself proud. And number three, fake it till you make it. So these are the three things that will help you with confidence. So let's go. Number one, emulate confident people. So this is Hamza, the one like the guy I told you about before. This is like my role model for life. So as of right now, and this is another guy, Joe Delaney. This is who Hamza followed. So then I started following like how he was like acting around girls, and then I started acting like that naturally. Like normally, I just started acting like that with my girlfriend. Like eventually I just got so used to acting how they acted, and just I put my own twists and turns into it, and then now like now I'm able to like be who I am with my girlfriend because I emulated the confident people, and I'm able to be confident around her because of how I just emulated the confident people from the start, and then eventually I made my own way. So the best way to get great at something is to just copy people. Simply, and anything in life, just copy them. If you want to start getting good at photography, for example, just copy like styles of taking pictures. Just copy different angles, copy different kinds of camera angles. Like you can do horizontal and vertical. Just copy shots. Like if someone had a shot of just like a tree or something, just try to replicate it. Try to copy that as much as you can. That's the greatest way to start getting good at something, just by copying people. Like if your friend teaches you how to draw and they're really good at drawing, just copy exactly everything that they're doing. You might not get the exact result, the exact same result because they have more practice, but just by copying someone, you'll be able to make so much more progress way faster. And also by you trying out what works, by you copying these people, by you copying people that you want to emulate, when you emulate them, you can find out what works. And also, like you also just you by you trying out what works, it also lets you find out what is confident or what is attractive and what is not. So by you trying out what they're saying, by you following how they act, by you going out in the world and acting like them, emulating them when you try to talk to a girl, then you find out like through lessons like what exactly how to act, what to say, how to act around them, what's attractive, what is not. Maybe you say something stupid, and then next time you know, okay, don't say that thing that was kind of dumb, or don't act in this way. Have a open chest and open body language next time. Don't forget to that. It also gives you a roadmap, like a quote unquote roadmap of how to do things, and it shows you what you can do. So for me, when I started talking to my girlfriend, and when I like for the first like date or the first few dates, I just copied how Hamza acted on dates. I just copied how Hamza was acting with his girlfriend at the time. So it gives you like a roadmap. It kind of gives you like a way how to copy them, and it also just shows you what you can do. Like you might not, you probably don't know anything about like how to talk to a girl or how to be with a girl, and you're just like, how do I do this exactly? So it gives you kind of like the roadmap. It gives you like a copy sheet of how to do it. And then by you doing that more and more and more, that allows you to put your own twist and your own style into things. And it shows you what you can do because you might not know, like, oh, you can hold her hand in this certain way, or you can hold her by the waist, and that's okay. Like how he's doing it here. Obviously, they're dating. But after a few like weeks or a few months of dating my girlfriend, like I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know I could do that until like I started like seeing Hamza and Joe Delaney do it on days. I was like, oh wait, that's I can do that. Oh wow. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's crazy what you can learn just by copying people and or emulating people. So by emulating confident people, you eventually find your own style and how to present yourself. So just like how an artist learns how to draw or learns how to um, make art in their own certain style, when they know the basics and when they know that a lot more than they did and they're able to replicate it more and more and more, then they can start to experiment a little bit and they can start to put their own flair on things. So Pablo Picasso, if you didn't know, when he was younger, he used to draw like normally, like quote unquote normally, like from how his father like taught him how to draw. But eventually, he started to find his own style of drawing, like how he draws like kind of like like a kid, right? He draws like a kid, and by emulating the confident people, finding out what works and what doesn't, getting more confident in that skill of talking to women and also just being more confident in general, that allows you to find your own style of confidence. It allows you to find your own style of presenting, of speaking, of how you talk, of how you walk. So that's why it's so important to emulate people, and that's why it's so beneficial to emulate people, because it gives you kind of like a roadmap. It shows you what you can do, and it shows you what's attractive, and it also just allows you, once you start getting good at this, it allows you to start making your own type of personality when talking to people, talking to others, and also just being confident in general. So let's move on. Number two, be proud of yourself. So when you're proud of yourself, you just present yourself in the best, most attractive way to others. Why? Because you feel freaking amazing. That's why. Because you're proud of yourself. Because you're not like just this little kid, and you're just like, oh, I'm not proud of myself, and like, I wish I was better. Like, I wish I had bigger legs, or I wish I looked better, and like, I'm not proud of myself. I'm kind of fat, or like, whatever it may be. When you're more proud of yourself, you'll feel more amazing. Like imagine, like, do you ever remember if you ever did a sport, like how amazing, like how crazy, like proud of yourself you were after an amazing game where you just like pushed your hardest, and then you just attacked the world, and you're just like, not attack the world, like you were so hype and everything, and all your friends were hyping you up, and you were all hype, and you were talking to those girls when you would usually just like a shy guy, but you had that sense of pride, and now you're just like super hyped and everything. That's how you feel when you're proud of yourself. So in order to feel proud of yourself, you need to get great at something, but also that also means that you have to be shit at that first, and that also means that you have a lower self-esteem because you're kind of bad at that thing that you need to get better at. But also just like practice, you get from bad to good, and then good to great. And then when you're great, then you start to feel more confident. So for me, what I'm great at is um looking jacked. The thing that I'm great at is speaking, oddly enough, because I love to speak to people. I love speaking on camera to YouTube to help give people advice. So that's something I'm starting to get way, way, way better at, and that's something that I'm proud at. And the last point is to fake it until you make it. So there's a stigma that you can't fake confidence. That's a lie. Yes, you can. Although people will obviously most likely see right through it, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if what they think. All that matters is that you try to fake the confidence, and then eventually, after a few months and years, then you actually naturally have that confidence. So like, although people will see it through the confidence now, who the fuck cares? Who cares? Who cares if you're trying too hard? But like, bro, who cares? This is for you, not for them anyway. So the only reason people find it weird when you're trying to act super confident or try to fake it is, one, because you haven't proven anything to them or show them that you're worthy of that confidence. So back then, when I first started this whole self improvement thing, I used to like fake my confidence. Back when I was like kind of unattractive, like feet like a point below this, and I was kind of like way chubbier. I tried to like fake my confidence, like stick my chest out and chin up, and just try to walk like this, and like walk or have an open body language. Everyone just was just like, "What the fuck is he doing, bro? He's kind of so weird, bro." So the reason why they think of that is because you haven't proven them anything. You haven't proven to them that you're worthy of like feeling amazing. Like from there or from this, like you can tell I'm pretty worthy of like that big smile on my face and that girl by my side. I'm kind of worthy of that because I built the physique. Like I built this. I built a little bit more success than most teens. I built more success than when I did when I was still like a little simp and little chump. You can tell right now that I've deserved that confidence, or I feel like I deserve that confidence at least. But if you saw me back then, you wouldn't have thought that I deserved to be like that super confident guy. Because I haven't proven it to you yet. I haven't proven that I've got the physique, that I got the girl. I haven't proved that I got the success on YouTube. I still don't have the success yet, but I eventually will. And number two, you've always showed them the unconfident side of you. So they've never seen the confident side of you. They don't know what the confident side of you is. So by you faking that confidence, they're gonna be like, wait, who is this guy? I don't know who this is. They're gonna be weirded out, and rightly so, because you've never showed them your confident side. And next, I will be talking about the last part about this full guide, or second to last part, and that is disciplined mindset. So this is the disciplined mindset. So when you're in that disciplined mindset, hold on, let me fix this. So when you're in that disciplined mindset, you do whatever you can to achieve your goals, and that's immensely attractive to girls. When a guy has ambition, when a guy like who does whatever he can to work towards his goal, that's super attractive to all the high quality girls. It shows the girls that you're not like just a little lump playing video games or scrolling on TikTok all day. That shows them that you actually have something to go for. And the high quality girls, they would much rather a guy who they know is going somewhere, who they know is going to be successful one day, rather than just a random chump who just plays video games all day. So discipline is doing the hard work, especially when they don't feel like it. So when you don't want to do that workout, but you do it anyway, that shows, because then you feel more proud of yourself. And then when you feel more proud of yourself, then you show yourself then you show a better side to yourself to that girl. So when you're achieving a goal and then you tell her that you achieved that goal, she'll be super proud and she'll be super attracted to you because you achieved a higher level in something. You achieved a higher level of success. So there's this whole thing called, here right now. Girls want to date guys with a higher status. The more you achieve goals that are beneficial for your self improvement and like facially, physically, mentally, you achieve money goals, you achieve subscriber goals, you achieve a weight gain. Like if you're skinny and you're trying to get jacked, and like you reach a certain weight goal or you get a certain bench press goal, you start to have more higher status. When you achieve goals that are beneficial for self improvement and status, they will be more attractive. There's this whole thing that I'm saying, like that they want to date higher up in that social hierarchy, that they want to date guys with higher status. This thing is called hypergamy. So girls would naturally want to date guys with a higher status, and that's just how the world is. Why do you think so many girls are attracted to like the super rich guys? They might not be the most attractive, but they're still rich. The reason why is because they have a higher status they because because they have a higher status. That's why. Or maybe in school when people aren't making money, the guy who is super jacked, or the guy who's super jacked and super attractive and plays all the cool sports. That's super high up on the social hierarchy. So the higher up the guy is on social hierarchy, the more the girl would want to date that guy. And the last thing about this full guide is have ambition. So there's me with my goals, right there. So nothing is more attractive to a girl than a man who has ambition and a purpose. When she knows that you're working hard as frick to get what you want, your goals, and when you achieve them, it proves yet again that you're not a little lump and you deserve to be with her. That you're worthy of something, that you're worthy of that love, and that you're worthy, that you're, or it proves to her that you're not just a little lump, but that you're actually something. Well, everyone else is playing games, watching you know what, eating shit food, and ruining their minds by scrolling on TikTok. You'll be that one guy who's actually doing something good, a better, disciplined life, and has something going for him, bro. You'll be that one guy who's like that diamond in the rough, and it's just like, whoa, who is that guy? She'll be super more attracted to you because most guys are kind of overweight. Most guys are kind of just on the phone. But when she sees you with a big smile on your face because you're not on your phone all day and you're happy and you're jacked and you feel amazing, then she's gonna be like, wow, who's that guy? And when she sees it about you, when she knows that you're going somewhere great, she can't help but want to come along for the ride. She can't help it because she wants to date that guy who's higher up, like right in the social hierarchy. So when she sees you rising up, she knows that you're gonna reach the top eventually. So that's why it's so important to have ambition. So we went over everything in this full guide: the good habits to take care of yourself, physical attractiveness, personality, self-confidence, discipline, mindset, mental health, everything that you needed to know in order, and everything that I could have known, and everything that I could have taught you in order to achieve a goal in getting a good girl and also become being worthy enough to get one. But the one thing I do want to preface, the one thing I do want to end this off with is that this will take years. I was just lucky enough that it happened all so soon for me. For a lot of people, this might happen a little bit longer, a little bit shorter than me. That's just how the world is. Some people take much longer to achieve that goal of getting a really good girl, not just some random bitch, a really good, beautiful, feminine girl. It might take people a lot longer. Might take some people shorter. For me, it took around 5 months of progress because I worked my fucking ass off during that time, for a fucking ass off. So if you go over everything, if you take all the advice and you learn about the gym and you learn about mental health and you learn about attracting this and how to cold approach and everything, and take all the advice and you don't cope and you just do what I tell you to do, then eventually you'll find a girl which you love dearly, and then she loves you with all of her heart. Look at that little smile on her face. So yeah, thank you for watching. Implement what you need, and you'll find a good girl. So I would recommend implement everything, and it's gonna help. So one last quote: "Do the hard work, now it's the later." And as always, Melias. See. Thank you for listening, bro. And if you watch all the way through, I think I should get a subscribe. Thank you for watching, bro.